Hello, we're just waiting for people to hop on here tonight. Hi, Yvonne, how are you? Are you ready for me to start? Okay, just wanted to check in because I wasn't sure if the girl before me was finished or not. Unfortunately, I've been away today. I visit my 87-year-old grandmother or aunt every Wednesday, and so that's why I don't get to watch on Wednesdays, but I'll be watching all of the replays. So my name is Renee Bauer, and I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and I want to welcome you to this wonderful event. This is a crafter's choice. So we get to choose what we'd like to craft for you tonight. I am the last crafter of the night. There was a problem with the schedule, so the girl after me went before me, and you're with the Double Trouble group. And the Double Trouble group is a free group that you can join and watch all kinds of crafters and get lots of inspiration. And it's just so much fun. I love being in this group. And I love being able to present with this group also. And thank you, Yvonne, for having me. So if you're watching right now, you'll see the live. And if you don't see live, then you're on the replay. And if you would put hashtag replay, hi Sandy, that would be awesome. I would just really, really appreciate that. If you would sprinkle me out, I'd appreciate that as well. You can watch this on the Double Trouble group, and it's one that you can, like I said, you can join for free. You also can go back and watch replays of all of the, hi Tracy, of all of the other presenters for this. So you can go back and watch those at the Double Trouble group. So I'm going to be doing what I love to do, and that's make some decor for doors or walls. And this one says there's no place like home, and it has snowflakes on the bottom. And I primed this board with just plaster color from Ivory. I did that on both sides and around the edges because I knew it would take a little while to dry. But the first color that I'm going to use tonight is Dixie Belle's color Peacock. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous turquoise color. I have a ton of stencils, and I have like 3 of them that I'm so excited to use in the next few weeks. But the color combinations, I kept changing my mind what I was going to do for them. So, but we're going with turquoise. I thought that would be a fun for winter color. And I'm just dipping my stencil brush into the turquoise, and then just getting off as much of the paint as I can. You can barely even see that there's anything on here. And if you have problems seeing, there's an arrow. It goes like this, right down at the bottom, right below where it says live, way down at the bottom. Hi, Carla. And if you push that button, it'll take away the conversation so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. And I'll also explain it and hold it up as I go. So I've gotten all the extra paint off, and I never start right on my stencil. I start off of the stencil so that I don't get a glob of paint there. For those of you that love to stencil, you know that it's way better to have to do a couple coats than to do too much paint on your brush and then you have a mess. So I start off of where I want to stencil and then bring it on. I'm just doing a swirling motion. I used to always, for years actually, until probably this past summer, always did the stippling like this, and I still do in small places. And but I have way too much. Started to really enjoy doing the swirly motion. Hi Sharon, welcome. And Sharon, where are you from? I'm from north central Pennsylvania. I live in Williamsport, which is the home of Little League World Series. If you've ever had any kids in baseball, that's the goal, is to get to Williamsport, to be in the Little League World Series. And boy, are they fun games to go to. I'm just stippling this on. I mean, not stippling, swishing, just swirling. And then, oh, let me just get, totally missed an area right there. So then as I go, I just lift it up to check it out to see how it looks. This looks good. I don't really see that I need to do another coat anywhere. I'm just gonna get the end over here a little bit. And I did this part first because I didn't want to have a ton of paint on my brush. But now I'm going to paint below my line down here with the same peacock color by Dixie Belle. No, I don't sell Dixie Belle. I love using Dixie Belle. I know sometimes people have favorite paints. I really don't, but I had always wanted to try Dixie Belle, so I bought a bunch of small jars of it. And actually, this small jar is pretty big. I love this color. And it does do good coverage as well. You don't want it to be real heavy because I'm going to need to dry it to stencil the snowflakes on. How many of you like to stencil? It does cover great. I love to stencil. I've been stenciling for, oh my goodness, over 40 years maybe. No, I'm not a great stenciler that does shading and all of that, but I do love to do shading. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I just painted up to the tape line. Oh my gosh, Sandy, that is a great question. There are not really any that I totally prefer over others. I am a designer for Chalk Couture, and I love the details in the Chalk Couture stencils. I'm also an ambassador for Essential Stencil, and to be honest, this is not either one of those, now that I think about it. And I'm not sure what it is. It might be from the Chalk Shop or maybe Stencil Smith, I bet. But, you know, with Chalk Couture, they have a lot of details. You can use them like 8 to 10 times. You do need to clean them right away. That's very important. But I love these kind too. I don't have to take care of them as much, I should say. It's okay if I need to do a live or, do something and it doesn't get cleaned right away. So I really don't have any that I prefer. I do have problems cleaning mesh stencils. That are not Chalk Couture sometimes. I think I just am too hard on them. Sandy, do you have any that you prefer? Okay, so this is what we have so far. Okay, now on the bottom, I'm going to flex some white paint. Or if anybody else has any. I'm always interested to talk to people about stencils. The other thing I like about Essential Stencil is I can use any kind of paint on it. And the stencil paint does dry out some, and you do have to spray it and wet it down. But I do prefer just being able to buy any kind of paint. So I know I really didn't give you a good answer to that. So I'm going to take some of this plaster paint, and I'm going to put a little bit on a toothbrush. And I have to be honest, I grabbed it out of the upstairs medicine cabinet, so somebody's going to be missing a toothbrush. And I'm just flicking the toothbrush, making very tiny little flecks on it. I love doing this. Sometimes people do it before, sometimes people do it after. I'm going to do some up here where I have the letters, but you can't really see it up there, and I'm okay with that. So I just grabbed somebody's toothbrush, and I was just going like this with my thumb. I've seen people do it all different ways. The toothbrush just happens to be one that I prefer to use. You can do it light, you can do it dark, you can do it heavier, but I just like that it takes some of the solidness out of the bottom one. Hi, how are you, Miss Right House Decor? You are on all the time, girl. I'm just going to just dry this. It's probably already about dry. So if you had to choose between silver or gold, hi, Nana's Homemade Treasures. If you had to choose between silver or gold to go with teal, what would you choose? Silver or gold? Or maybe you like both. I am one that likes both. What do you guys like? Gold? Silver? I tend to use silver when I do snow stuff. I'm going to use gold tonight, mainly because I couldn't decide on what color I wanted, so I don't really have a good ribbon to use on this. And so my daughter had picked this out, and she used this to make a bow yesterday. She got it from Hobby Lobby. And so actually I think I'm going to use that for the bow, and I think it's going to work okay. So pretty. It was $9.99, so it was $10.50, so it was 50% off. So like $5, and it's 30 feet of ribbon. She got a nice huge ribbon out of it. Oh no, it wasn't this. This is another one that she made a bow out of. Wait a second, let me grab oh wait, here it is. And she also used this wired ribbon with this and made a gorgeous She was learning how to do that last night. My kids and I had a holly jolly craft night, which when you have adult kids, you know how special that is to have your kids around. And they both like to craft. Okay, so I'm going to lay this down now. And it's not going to line up with the words because I needed to offset it a little bit. Oh, thank you. Just got them done the other day. You know, there's a holiday coming up where everyone's wearing red. Hi, Tammy. So I think this will be fun to make. I'm just going to put that tape down to hold this part down. And I'm going to get out another, got the ribbon stuck. Another coffee filter that I'm going to use to blot my paint on. Now I'm going to use white, which is the plaster from Waverly. I love Waverly paints. Just love them. I will say I saw other people that would put them in squirt bottles from Dollar Tree. And it was convenient, but I don't think they lasted long. I think they got really thick really fast in there. These are Essential stencil brushes that I'm using. I do love the quality of their stencil brushes. I do really feel that cheap ones really aren't worth your money. I love the Crafter choice. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. I love that because you don't have to do holiday related or any special thing. You can maybe just do that craft that you've had sitting on the back burner and you've been wanting to do. But once again, I'm going to get the extra paint off. I am going to go a little heavier on this. Not a lot though, because I'd rather do 2 coats than have to have a ton of bleeding. We'll see. I'm just barely pushing down on my paintbrush. It's pretty much just sitting on the surface here, and I'm swirling. It dries fairly fast. I can show you what it looks like so far. Cool. Pretty. Well, you know, yes, Tammy, mine clogged as well, especially when I tried to use it with Mod Podge. I thought that would be really easy too, and it was easy at first, but yeah, then it clogged and it had like those gunks of that come out, and so yeah, that was, I felt like I was picking that out of my project quite a lot. So I'm just doing some swirling on here, lifting and checking. And like I said, if you're following the schedule, I am the last one now tonight, okay? They had to have, oh crap, that had a lot. I hope it's all right. They did have to do a schedule change, and so now I'm the last one tonight. We had someone earlier, there was a scheduling problem for them, and so they switched the schedule around. Okay. So, this is what we have so far. And I'm sorry it's backwards. I'm not a cool person with an iPhone. I was originally going to do this in 2 shades of blue, but I couldn't find 2 shades of blue that I thought really were going to look nice together. And I'm still not sure about the bow because I'd like to put some turquoise in with the bow, and so I have some ribbon. We'll see how that pans out. I'm just going to give this a quick dry. It is pretty much dry. If you wanted this to be more solid, you could do, another layer or 2 of the white. You can see if I hold it up close, that it's not real solid. There are, some very light patches, but I'm okay with that. I like that. Okay, so now's where I'm going to use a little bit of gold. I always tell people I was a first grade teacher, so a little bit of glitter is not going to bother me. I'm just going to use Elmer's glue. I was trying to figure, do I use Mod Podge? What do I use, glitter Mod Podge? But I'm just going to use the old Elmer's glue. And I'm just putting like a little bit of glue in the center of these. Some of them I'm filling in the whole circle. Other ones, if they don't have a whole circle, I'm, just kind of putting a little bit in the center. Just to give it a little bit of a shiny color, but not a Christmas color per se. All right. So there are some other ones where I could put gold around the outside. I'm just going to wait till I do this and kind of see how it turns out. This is extra fine gold glitter. I really like using the extra fine. Most of you know, I live a block away from Hobby Lobby, so I buy a lot of my glitter there. This I bought though from a friend for 10 cents at a yard sale that she was having. So I'm just kind of globbing this on. Oops. A hot glue gun was just falling. That's not gonna work. I'll put this on a paper towel. I'm not real picky about saving glitter, but you get so much. But I always feel a little, hi Shelly, I always feel a little wasteful if I don't at least try. So now that it's gotten to kind of adhere there for a few minutes, this is what we have in the middle. So yeah, I think gold is going to look pretty there. Oops, I forgot to put some on that one. What do you think? More gold, or do you think that looks good? What do you think? I kind of like it for a little bit of accent. And that's always something that you can go back and do more of. I often get to the point with glitter that maybe once it dries, it doesn't stay in a certain place. And so gold looks nice with the teal. Thank you. I just love doing door hangers. And not that you have to hang them on your door. Glittery, glittery. Behind me I have a Santa's Village that I made on a live the other day. I also made, whoops, that sled. That was one that was auctioned off. Just didn't get it out in the, didn't give it to my friend yet who bought it. So we're gonna let that dry a little bit while I do a bow. I'm also going to do some distressing ink, I think, around the outside. Not quite sure. Sometimes I just have to see it to decide what I'm doing. So this was a bow that I already had that a friend made. Got a little squish. She's awesome at making bows. She'll come over and say, can I make bows for you while we chat? Like, yeah. But I realize that's going to be too big for what we're doing. But I am going to use this from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to get a piece of jute. Put it through, what did I just do? Oh, for heaven's sakes. Here we go. How many of you like making bows? I'm not very good at it. But the more I practice, the more I do think that it's fun. So I'm going to make a tail and twist it and then put it down. Remember, if you can't see, hit that little arrow down at the bottom. Oh, Tracy, I love experimenting with different things to make bows. And when my kids came over to craft last night, my daughter said, you know, I have things for my door with for fall and for Halloween. She said, I don't have a Christmas wreath. And she was also looking for garlands, so we went to my neighbor, Hobby Lobby, and we're looking at things there, and I said to her, you know, why don't you just use a grapevine wreath? That would be really cool, and then you could just make your own bow, and you could switch it out for different seasons, you know, if you wanted to do that. So I taught her how to use the bow dabber last night and helped her with her first bow, and then she was a rock star. She made another one all by herself, and then she just took a roll of burlap and made one that way. So this bow dabber that I have does not have a ruler. Often I get out a ruler, but I do, every time I go in, I try to go in about 1 inch from the outside one. And then I twist it so the upside is showing again. When I pinch and twist. Years and years and years ago, my mother-in-law had taught me how to make bows. And once she learned, she just like couldn't stop. She was just like boom, 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 boom. And I just couldn't get it. I would try and try and try. I just couldn't get it. And now I'm having a lot more fun with it. But she was doing the same thing, but holding it all in her hand. And I would get it in my hand and then think, oh my gosh, what do I do now with it? Okay, so I have 3 so far on this side. I have 2 on this side. Like I said, try to make them each in about 1. I think I might try to do 1 more. Why not? I'm letting it unroll on the floor, so that's why it's getting all kinked up. When I bought my Bowdabra, I was going all out. I was going to learn how to do bows. I bought every size Bowdabra you could buy, which I think was 3. There was a mini one. I've never even used the mini one that I have. Okay. So we have this done. I'm just going to pull it down here and make a cut. I clean it up and see, she did a bow and I did a bow, and it's just about used this whole spool. We'll be able to get another bow out of it. Not real big probably. It does take a lot of ribbon to make a bow. I love also putting jute in the bows if it's, you know, country-ish. The bow that I did for the sled that I held down, that's just out of strips of fabric. I love taking fabric that I have, and I'm not a sewer. I buy fabric because I just like it, or I think it's pretty, and I think, oh, I can make a pretty bow out of that. So that's what I do with my stash of fabric. But I do like putting, oh, now I can't think of that other stuff. You know, the straw stuff. I like putting that in as well. Raffia. Okay, so I'm going to push this down. And I know some people put a loop on the end of theirs and then pull it. I've never really learned how to do that, but I need to learn because that is slick. Slick, slick, slick. So I start to tie it, and then I bring it out. Boy, when my daughter was here last night, that was so helpful to have someone else help hold it. Yeah, thanks, Sharon. Raffia. I like using that as well. Okay. I'm just going to tie a knot in the back as well, just so that my ending strings are back here. Cut them off. This is what I have so far. And now is when I play and play and play with it. Yeah, my daughter has some great ideas for her grapevine wreath that she did last night, and her bows were just so pretty. So you can see once you start playing with it, it makes a big difference. Also, if you're taking these to craft fairs and your bow gets smashed down, they are easy to just pop right back up and put on. I think I will dovetail this, at least to see how it's going to look. Oh yeah, that'll be pretty dovetailed. Sometimes I dovetail them and then I think I should just do it on an angle. The other day when I was making something, every time I went to dovetail, I did it wrong, so I kept getting this instead of, ay, ay, ay. Oh, that's still a little bit longer. I'm also one that things don't have to be perfectly even. I don't mind if they're asymmetrical when they're hanging. So, this is what we have. That'll be pretty. Okay, before I glue that on, I'm going to take some of my Tim Holtz Distress ink and put that around the outsides a little bit. As much as I love the crispness of this, I gotta make sure I don't touch those. And after I've already gotten most of it off, I just will go over this lightly. Just to tone it down a smidge. Oh, and there I hit gold glitter. Doggone it. It's okay. Glitter, glitter, glitter. Oh, I love Tim Holtz things. I have some. What in the world? Where did that come out of? I don't know, but it's not coming out of the top. Or if there's a hole in it. Be able to blow that off better when I'm finished. But I love how it just tones things down a little bit. Can't really see it around the outside well, but that's okay. Did you see the bow just flew? I'm going to have to get up to get that. Sorry about that. Oh, it flew far. I have stuff in front of my table here that doesn't belong there because I had a squirrel in my attic. And I had to put the stuff that was to the side of me, slide it that way because of the guy getting up to for the squirrel. So this distress ink that I use is Vintage Photo. I don't know why I always need to look at it, but and now it has gold glitter on it. But that's not some real great lighting. That's it. And it has some other ones that I don't I honestly don't use them too much. I have black soot. I thought I would love that for when I use black a lot on things, and I really don't use that a whole lot. I have ground espresso. I have tea dye. And I have two that I haven't used. I don't know if they came together in a kit or what. Dried marigold and rusty hinge. So do I need all those? No, but I loved the name of the colors and how it looked like it was going to turn out. So we'll see. Yeah, originally I was going to try to put some turquoise in with the ribbon as well. When I made it, I just kind of liked how it looked without the turquoise in it, and I think the gold accents on the oops, sorry about that. Decline that. See, if she was watching me live here. She was watching me live here. She wouldn't be calling me, huh? Okay. So I'm going to use some Titebond Quick and Thick glue. I lost the lid one time doing a live, and I've never found it. And I'm thinking what it is that my cats found it. And who knows where it is now. I'm trying to see which was the... ribbon. I'm going to put some Titebond on. I saw a crafter use this one time and she swore by it, and I found it on Amazon and bought it. And our town of Montoursville has a small local hardware store, and they have Titebond there, so I like to support them. So this is what it looks like. I also like the Titebond for wood. They are probably the two glues that I use the most. I'm always one, if somebody's using a glue I don't think I've heard of on their live, I'm always like, what glue are you using? So I love to try out different glues. Here's another one that somebody did, maybe one of you, Beacon Multi-Grip. Love this stuff too. What I've had problems finding are, yes. What I've had problems finding is something that will glue like rusty snowflakes or rusty hearts or something like that on onto pieces that I'm doing, and then it stays. My problem is that it doesn't stay. Tamara, do you have any suggestions? Because I would certainly love to hear it, because I'm not all about spending a ton of money on my glue if it's going to work. Hold this down just a little bit using my Surebonder cordless glue gun. It's just a little thing, but I do like it. It's very convenient. Oh yeah, I like E6000 too. Yep. You know, Tamara, I have used it, and it holds it great for a while, but then like the next year, if I go to get it out, get the wreath out or whatever, things start falling off. But yeah, I do like E6000. Somebody had the other day B4000 or something. Not really sure what that was. I'm trying to hold this down a little bit and also move the tails a little bit out of the way. Guess I'm just going to need to make them a little shorter. Yes, I have an E6000 sitting right here that I put my fingernail through. I'm like, ugh. I don't. It's the only thing with that is often I put holes in it by accident. That's a little shorter. Looks like maybe a little more. I hate getting these tails too short though. What do you think? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I know E7. Oh. Oh, I never heard of that. E7. Yes, and I think the B4000 that person was using, they said it doesn't smell as much either. So, there we have it. I'm going to take a piece of jute and make a hanger for the back. Not sure if it's too thick for my staple gun. I don't want the snowflakes to really touch. Probably should have put that on earlier. Oh goodness, my battery's getting low. I completely forgot to check that. So there we have it. We'll put some ribbon on the back to secure this. And actually, I really don't want to. I say I don't really want to use any of the stuff that I just used, but I think I can use some of that. But I had all kinds of other ideas possibly, and that was to put, you know, like wooden snowflakes on it also, and, you know, what colors to do those. But, yeah, I'm happy with what we have here. So I'll put some reinforcing ribbon on the back to reinforce it. I usually think that helps hold the rope down. I use jute a lot. Sorry, I'm concentrating on where I'm putting this glue. I'm holding that down. I am so glad that you guys stayed on for me, especially since I'm the last presenter. Appreciate it. And I have some other lives coming up, so be sure to check my Rustic Daisies DIY with Renee Facebook page. The other ones I have, I think, are mostly winter themed that will be coming up. do you think? This is how it looks on the back. So I did the jute and then I reinforced it with some ribbon. I still have 10 minutes, and so I do have something else that I wanted to share with you. I'm just going to set this to the side. I have made a bunch of things like this to sell this year at my craft fairs. And so I just have taken a glass that I find, or probably a shallow vase or something, at the thrift store. And a lot of times I just put Mod Podge inside and then sprinkle it with either crystals or fake snow. And then put a rub-on and a candle. And sometimes I also put jute on them. So I'm going to show you on this cup another way to do that. So an important thing is to always clean. I'm not sure if I have one up here. Clean your glass with alcohol wipes. Yeah, I don't have one. That'll be okay. But you can use Mod Podge, or you can use glue, or you can use Frost Effect. And Frost Effect just like getting it on your brush and painting over your glass, whatever kind of vase or glass. My sister used glasses like this years ago, and they ended up being upside down, and it was a turkey. So if you look for wine glass ideas, there are all kinds of fun wine glass ideas that you can do. But you can always find glasses or vases at thrift stores, and I do that a lot. I just try to get it on evenly, and then if you want it at the bottom, you can paint the bottom as well. And from that point, you can do anything with it. You can do rub-ons, you can do etching, you can do stenciling. Yes, I've seen the floor wax also. I've never tried that, but I have seen that. And yeah, I have a Folk Art Frost Effect. I've used Elmer's glue with glitter. I've used this kind of Elmer's glitter glue, and I've used Mod Podge and glitter Mod Podge. I'll show you what if you haven't used it, probably should have shaken it up more. This is what the glitter Mod Podge then will look like. Does anybody think that Mod Podge smells like a florist shop? I don't know why, I've always thought that. What I find with this is I just try not to brush it over it too much, just to kind of make my strokes, and then once it dries, fix anything up that I need to, which is sometimes right here at the top. Because it does start drying right away. Okay, and that's foggy now, but it's going to look, well, I guess you can't really tell with this one because I put the snow on the inside. But this is fun. This is a little color changing votive from Dollar Tree. I'm usually more into just the, oh yeah, that's neat. Tammy, if you take a picture and show me, I'd love to see it because I've seen people do that. I haven't ever done it though. And then, like, what do you put on the outside? Stick. Do you stencil or do like a rub on? But these kind of looked cute in here. And when people look at them at a show, I always say to them, you know, oh, you could put a colored one in here. If it's not a colored one, or if it is a colored one, I could tell them, oh, you could put one that's not colored in here, and I always have extras on hand. Okay. I was going to leave the stem plain, but the stem already got someone by accident. So that's fun. If you want to do a little sassiness. I love flamingos, so some pink on my wine glasses. It's just a hint. Probably hard for you to see, and I can't really touch it to hold it up. Just a hint of pink on that. Kind of reminds you of candy. But I like that on the bottom. I'm just, like I said, it's all over the place, and that's fine, because I'll just clean it up then to reuse it. Look, I love how it looks. So yes, my Crafter's Choices tonight glitter. And this is another thing that if when it dries and you go, oh, there's some spots that I've missed, it's very easy to put back on. Okay. Get the stem. These are really cute with ribbons on. You can make little bows for on them. If you're good at painting, you could put a flamingo face on this. I am not good at anything like that. I necessarily wouldn't drink out of this, but I just did cards. Oh, Tammy, that would be neat. And yeah, I wouldn't necessarily drink out of them, but they're fun to give as gifts, and you can put votives down in these as well. They're pretty cool looking. So it's always fun to do things like that as well. And I guess that's it for me for tonight. So I hope you guys have a great evening. I hope you enjoyed all of Double Trouble's Crafter's Choice videos. Like I said, I was not home. I was with my 87-year-old aunt today. So I will be watching the replays and excited to do that. And Yvonne, thank you so much for having me. It means so much. I just love this group. I'm sorry I don't have my Double Trouble shirt on tonight. I just wore it when I was on for you guys the other night. So it's in the laundry. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Don't forget to check out Double Trouble and join their group, as well as my page, Rustic Daisies DIY with Renee. I love making craft friends, and so it's been my pleasure meeting so many of you people. So, boy, that's it for me for tonight. I keep saying so. All right. I will see you all soon. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.